We've got something special tonight. We have two graduates of the intro class previous a couple months back, and they're going to headline tonight. They're going to co-headline. Please welcome your first co-headliner, Cumdawg-Cumming. Let's hear it for him.
First, give it up for the comics. So I've been trying to memorize my set, but I'm like the Scarecrow from The Wizard of Oz. They don't have a fucking brain. It's probably because my mom dropped me as a baby, or it could be the drugs I did when I was younger. I know you can't tell by looking at me, but I'm a Wellands success story. I have a job. I still haven't sucked a dick. For drugs, but never say never. And I fucking left Welland. Welland is like the North Korea of Niagara. Because who the hell is moving here? And Wellanders just don't fucking leave. Like ever. On Highway 20, South Pelham and the Canal, are the protected borders. If you venture outside the perimeter, you're gonna fucking die. The 406 is like no man's land. It's a no-go. My mother lived in Welland for 55 years, and unless she can take Highway 20 to get there, she can't get there. There are people from Welland that have never walked down to the brink of Niagara Falls to see what millions of people travel across the world to see. Because it's just fucking water going over a cliff. We spent our holidays in Coxup and Wainfleet. They have a bog. The only time a Wellander leaves the quadrant and risks being maimed by the dark entities is to go to Costco to stock up on Mr. Noodles, craft dinner, and Monster energy drinks to fuel their domestic disputes. Then it's off to the keg for the most generic, expensive, white man meal available. Like, don't go try something you can't make at home. And finishing the night off at the casino because fuck your kids' tuition. It might surprise you, but Welland wasn't always the cultural hub it is today. When I moved to Vancouver, the cultural shock took over. I realized how sheltered and ignorant my upbringing had made me. I'd be missing out on so many flavors. You couldn't even find a multigrain bread in the 90s in Welland. Much like the people, it was mostly white bread. You had the French in their baguette. You could find a focaccia or an Italian on every corner. And you could always find some Wonder Bread for the manja cakes. Welland's Italians are what today's homesteaders strive for. They all have a Garden of Eden with their cukes and zooks. An Italian man can only be measured by the size of his sausage stuffer. They live for the next meal. Their weird placenta, their dry-ass cookies and olives, or Kermit the Frog assholes as we called them. Every Italian family has their Holy Trinity recipes that can never be shared. They're the vino, the sauce, or heart of Nona, and the one that has been blessed by the Pope himself, the sacred supersod. It's the Mona Lisa of meat, and every Italian treats their salty salami the same. Like it's the dried dick of Jesus. If you are chosen, they will let you put the tip of the salty goodness to your lips. These recipes can only be prepared in the Vatican's vault, the basement kitchen, away from the gawking eyes of the Goombas. If you are up early enough to catch an Italian man in his natural habitat, it's a beautiful sight, wearing his translucent wife beater and house coat in the morning fog, looking like a gorilla in the mist. Rinsing off the driveway so we can give it the old Italian top coat. There's nothing more satisfying than a fresh coat of asphalt. Italians are known as the worshippers of pavement, or WAPs for short. Italians are traditional. Their favorite sports are kicking a ball and rolling the ball. The younger generations have ditched the Fonzie look and traded in their leather jackets for synthetic Puma pelts and Adidas soccer slippers. They still enjoy greasing their hair. If you are around an older Italian and have a caker name, you will get their version of your name. Like James is Jimmy. I'm not Trevor, I'm Jimmy. And Jimmy is Johnny. If they start using Italian sign language, just nod your head and walk away. And if they ask if you want to fuck off or go fuck off, they're offering you a coffee. If you were buying a house, an Italian's house is like seeing the Colosseum for the first time. You'll fucking shit gelato when you see it. The backyard is like Rome, with the pillars, concrete lions, the statues of George Costanza. The upstairs kitchen is like the Sistine Chapel, making eye contact with the Virgin Mary and Jesus around every corner. And the rest of the house is still wrapped in its original plastic wrap. But they rarely go up for sale because their sons never fucking move. Italians helped build Welland and shared their culture, like the many delis, bakeries, and 20 or 30 pizza joints that have set pizza standards high and out of reach outside of Welland, spending their hard-earned money on Cadillacs, IROCs, and gold chains. Then there are the Bonjours or Tabernacles. A lot of them had those weird double-barrel first names, like Jean-Luc, or Jean-Paul, or Jean-Jean, but it's actually pronounced fucking Jean. They are super proud of being parlez-vous, and it gets them their God-given right to be a fucking asshole, because I'm French and I can. Hockey is their religion, and the Habs are their holy shit. But unlike the Itais, they don't share their culture. They've never seen a French bistro or poutinerie. All they've ever given us was Richelieu, a barn beside the shit plant. Being bilingual, they got all the good jobs at the bingo hall, call centers, and working for the city leaning on a shovel. But the French connection has given Welland a steady supply of high-quality stolen goods, like the shiny bike Gramps would buy, or the cases of T-bone and sirloin steak I paid $20 for in a sketchy East Side apartment. My cousin actually bought a truck that came with an extra engine and a new VIN number. We called the French kids Pepsis, because just like a bottle of Pepsi, they were empty from the neck up. I hung out with the Con kids. Con was the French high school and their future career options. You could pick them out of a crowd by their tap-out and bedazzled Ed Hardy t-shirts, or from the extra chrome spoilers and lights on their Frenched-out cars. I learned a lot of real-life shit from them, though, like how to disconnect a car's speedometer so your parents didn't know you went to Toronto for the night, or if you put cinder blocks under a car's axles, when you cut the Schrader valves, you don't need a jack and the rims slide right off. And I could open a door with a fleur-de-lis skeleton key. In English, we call that a pipe wrench. I've seen mountains of weed, guns, bricks, and cocaine in the finest chop shop this side of Brampton. But I was never scared. The east side is safe. They cross the bridge to do their crimes. And finally, the Anglaise or manja cakes. You know, the ones on the west side that work all year and have their teeth. But it was the same as the rest of Welland. Short on dreams, but high on life. Drugs were life. Wellanders are honest and will tell you you're an idiot to your face with a smile. They are loyal, always have your back, a little pricky, and will bleed for the rose. I once seen a guy talk shit about Welland, and a buddy showed him what Welland's all about. Respect and a punch in the teeth. If you fuck with the rose, you get the thorn. The options were pretty slim as a teenager. You could be like Welland's NHL players and commit to hockey, or you were fucking cool and drank and did drugs in the park like a normal 15-year-old. People from Welland are a different breed, like a jackalope or unicorn. You've seen a picture, but if you see one in the wild, there's a good chance you're fucking high. If they step outside of Welland, they stick out like a donkey in a dress. Like, look at this jackass. But it's not even their look, it's the aura they project. The old fuck you and fuck off. When I lived in Vancouver, buddies would ask me, is everyone like you where you're from? Because you're fucked up. Yes, I am. That's because Welland is where rock stars learn to party. I've had bartenders tell me giving me drinks is like a game to see who falls first. I'm undefeated. A seasoned drunk or druggie in the rest of Canada is still a rookie in Welland. Welland is home to the lords of liquor. Getting Welland wasted was a badge of honor growing up. We did do sketchy shit, we just never got caught. Nowadays we have the wretched wives of Welland, driving their Honda HIVs, dumping their seeds of Satan off at the arenas, dance palaces, and the real dad's houses. So they can go get drunk on Peanut Noir, smoke their darts, and have a nice spa day to get the botulism shots in their lips to iron out the cocksucking wrinkles of yesteryear. While her husband is playing shitty softball and getting shit-faced in the parking lot before he picks up his fucking shitty kids. But ladies, if your man wears a jersey and baseball pants to play softball, he's a fucking loser. He's either cheating on you or he's giving the catcher a jackfish in the bleachers. Now for a Welland Heritage Minute. We had a mayor and priest that were teachers at the local high school that got caught stealing bingo money from seniors to pay for an apartment in Buffalo to practice their 069 in. And do you know why your dad won't step foot in the Seaway Mall? Well, it's nicknamed the Seaman Mall. Not because of the sailors in the Seaway. It's because some of your grandfathers got caught smoking in the boys' room in the famous dick sucking ring in the 80s. Welland sucked in the 80s till old Dick Reuter came there. And everyone in Welland knows there's nothing better than an old vagina on a hot summer day. It just goes down better. OV is the official beer of Welland. It's not that it's cheaper or tastes better, it's just the only one they could spell. Welland is like its own country. Our flag is some old shit-stained gitch. Our national anthem is Teenage Dirtbag. Our recognized currency is cigarettes and empties. And instead of gold bars, we stockpile catalytic converters for retirement. Welland is a place where rails and water meet. No, it's not what you think. The only rails and water meeting are the rails of cocaine on the top of the toilet tank in the washroom. Welland is the Gotham City of Niagara. It's always gray. The Italian lightning always strikes. And I just feel fucking dirty when I leave. If you look at a map of Niagara, imagine the lakes are the ass cheeks. The Welland is a little dirt hole in the middle. Like for real, the Stinky Tunnel is the asshole of Niagara. Welland's always been sketch. There are more villains than heroes, like Commander Champion and his council of cork soakers, letting Welland fall into disrepair over the years. They've sold our parks to developers, banned boats from the canal, because that's not what it was meant for, but it sure as fuck was built for it. But they've given the people what they fucking need: a big screen TV, the most useless ice rink in all of Canada, and Mount Welland with panoramic views of Walmart and the runoff of industrial rainbows into the river. Then there's our provincial rep. He only does things one way, the bad way. And the other fuck that sells everything, Goofy gets it sold. No, it's getting fucking old. Do you remember the mozzarella mob? The cops smuggling cheese and chicken wings to local pizza joints? Like, you can't make this shit up. Or what about the new gang in town, Metheny and the Mobilities? You can taste their aura before you can see them. It's a mix of ashtrays, sour milk, and asparagus piss. They're always wearing their finest Welland dinner suits, pajama pants, slippers, and a beer shirt they found on the fucking road. They are a motorized unit, so they can be seen at various Tims and charging their rigs at the beer store while crushing king cans of Carling and smoking reserves. They have been known to meet en masse at dollar days at Walmart, or just cruising around town on their custom bedazzled DUI bikes, wearing an old hockey helmet and dishwashing gloves, or doubling on their Welland Roadsters with a lift kit and beer holder, pulling a trailer full of empties and aid with hockey sticks in their neighbor's bike. I swear Welland is where carnies come to retire, because I could just walk through the King Street Circus and feel accomplished in life. Like, these people are fucked up, and they made it. It's fucking Narnia on the east side. King Street has its own breed of villains, like Double Double, always doing double takes, lives off Tim Hortons and butts people throw on the ground. He loves sidewalk suntanning and been known to do some curbside butt mining. Then there's Cracky Chan, starring in his own movie, The King Street Kerfuffle, only talks in dubbed English, can roll a joint in his pocket, and has lost more shadow boxings than he's won. Always twitching and glitching. Then there's the Welland vampire, Cracula. His fangs are pronounced because they're the only teeth he has in his meth mouth. He's up all night chasing the next high, trying to bite his ear. He's most likely a roofer by day. With all these people on the lam, we could really use a Batman. Sure, we don't have a Dark Knight, but we do have the Black Sheep. You can find him and his sidekick, the Forge, cruising around town in the Bombmobile, slicking out heavy doses of caffeine, butting heads and dropping the hammer. This building is where all the Wellands losers used to hang out until the Black Sheep cleaned it up. And I could see you all staring at me like, oh, is he a pirate? The answer is obviously, fuck you. I'm not One-Eyed Willie. I actually injured my eye a couple weeks ago in my sleep. Yeah, laugh now, assholes. When I went to bed, I was straight. When I woke up, I could see around fucking corners. My mom was actually right. If you keep making stupid faces, it's gonna stay that way one day. Karma's a bitch. I'm the pug-eyed plumber I can see in Panoramic. I went to bed chunk and woke up Baby Ruth. If I was in the animal kingdom, I'd be a chameleon or a Welland walleye with my opposable eyes. Never eat the fish in the canal. I'm a big fan of chocolate, so my nephew started calling me Uncle Willy Wonka. But my cousins have been supportive. They let me go hunting with them. No, I'm not a sharpshooter. I can see a predator sneaking up behind me without moving my head. I think I'm actually going to change my stage name to better represent myself. I like how Cumdawg-Cumming rolls off the tongue.